Okay, so this is Kinect. Right here is the program. We just put it on Mac. We opened it up and plugged in the Kinect. Right here is the depth sensor. Like if I put my hand here, it's going to be white. If I put my hand really far back, it's going to be red. And right here is the color sensor. There's 3 sensors on the Kinect. One is a depth sensor, another is another depth sensor, and one's the color. Hello. Right here is the spot that's being scanned. It's not scanning anything because I haven't pressed start yet. So if I move this down to 1 so it's higher quality, I think that's what the option does, and you press start, it will start scanning the room. It gets depth data from a bunch of infrared dots it sends out, and color data from the RGB camera. How this is really green, it means it's sort of close. This is really red, so it means it's sort of far. So right now we're just having a door right here. We can see that it is 3D, not just from that one perspective. We can see that the roof is there. If we move this up, we run into our first issue. See this light here? See how it's black here? Because it sends out infrared dots to get information, whenever it hits light, it just thinks it's an empty hole. Don't know why. Probably just because it overrides all the infrared dots and it thinks it's a hole. Right, we can see the hole right here on the 3D scan. So if we move it along this way, we can start getting another corner of the room, and we run into another issue. See how right here it's saying failed really quickly after estimating camera pose and processing stuff? It loses where it is. It needs to know where it is for where to put in the information. So if I move it back to where it originally was from where it started, which you can tell by pressing this reset button, it moves the camera back to its original angle. So we need to move it, correlate what looks to be here to what looks to be here. So we need to move it like that, sort of, and it can find out where it is. It takes a long time to find out where it is again, because it's the Kinect and it's not that great of hardware. So if we move it this way, maybe it can get it. Okay, now it's saying updating model, it's getting information again. So if we move it this way, we can maybe get the TVs are randomly here. And it's a really slow process, and it has a lot of holes, so it's not a great 3D scanner, but it's very cheap compared to $5,000 normal cameras, normal 3D cameras. And we can see another issue right here. If we remove the grid here real quick, we can see how this has like 3 different shades. These are from 3 different times it scanned the door. The thing about the light right here is that whenever that light sort of like blinks on and off of different shades of light, so whenever the RGB camera takes a 1 snippet picture, if it's on the darker phase, it's going to look darker. If it's on the brighter phase, it's going to look brighter, and it messes up the colors. If you have professional lighting and a professional camera, 100% okay, doesn't matter. But for cheap lighting like that is up there, it's going to mess up. And another issue is if we reset the camera, this view, and let's say we put a pencil up there. If anything new happens, it's going to put something else in that spot. Like if we open that door right here, it's going to put like a half open door and half closed door. And if we reset the camera here real quick, we can see like half of a hand here. Doesn't look very good. Last problem out of the many problems it has, see how there's this shiny part of the pencil right here? If we move it back enough so it's in distance, it has proximity issues. If you get too close, it won't notice it. If you move it back far enough, you can see that it doesn't really get this part where the shiny part is. It gets a very small sliver of the eraser and the rest of the pencil, but doesn't get where the shiny part is on it, right there, because it reflects the light and it moves into a bunch of different positions so it doesn't hit the sensor back again, and it just messes it up. And if you move anything, now there's like multiple halves of hands there. But if you're going to do some like real cheap thing, or you need something such as like a outline for another 3D image you're gonna make, like if I pause it and I reset it, and I need to reset it. If someone quickly presses start here on the thing, if I'm right here, and press pause again, it will get an outline of my body. So if I was going to make a 3D model of myself, I could use it as an outline, but it doesn't look it's very holy, and it doesn't get all of my body. It sort of has an inverse if you look at it this way, and you can actually see a shadow on my body here because it's blocking the other parts of the wall. It works well as an outline, it works great for that, but it doesn't show my entire body, so you can't just use that as a 3D model unless you want a 3D model of half a body, but I'm not sure why you would want that. That's pretty much the only good thing I think I could use it for, except for a cheap model. It's not meant for something like putting it into Blender and using it as a model of like, I'm gonna put myself into Blender, then move myself around and make myself fly over a schoolhouse, or put in your dog and make him fly around your house for whatever reason. That won't work because it will start doing what it did to the door in the other one and have different lighting, and it's gonna have a bunch of holes and it won't look nice. But for something like an outline, it works perfect.